Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Whitney Katz, and I wanted to lead you through a gentle sequence today of just kind of how to prepare our body for the day when we'll be stuck in a car or a train or a seat. So, what's the best way to come out of bed and just kind of get our body ready for the day? I teach at a few yoga studios in Chicagoland, and what I hear the most requests for are opening the shoulders, people that have tight hips also tend to have tight backs. So I'll be taking us through some twists and some hip openers and some shoulder openers just to get us nice and supple and ready for the day. I like to start by focusing on my inner self when I practice, and I like to be comfortable. So taking a seat on a block, I usually find to be helpful. I prefer that my knees are below my hips, so we're not at that 90-degree angle that we've been taught to sit in our entire lives, but we actually have a little bit of a slant, which helps the natural curvature of our lumbar spine. So tuning into our breath and just closing your eyes for a moment, growing tall through the crown of the head as we root through the sitting bones. The sits bones are the two bones that protrude out of the glutes. So just finding that even stillness there and closing your eyes. Palms can be up, linking the index finger and thumb together, and just begin by breathing. Noticing your natural state of breath without manipulating it. Just noticing whether it's shallow or whether it's deep. Noticing how your body feels in this seated position. Is your back a little sensitive in the morning or at whatever time of day you're choosing to practice? How does that feel? And now beginning to breathe a little bit deeper, drawing the breath all the way into the belly, below the navel, as we stretch the lungs and the chest rises. Exhaling from the chest, allowing the ribs to relax, and subtly drawing the navel back towards the spine and up towards the ribs. So it's important to note that this is not a sucking in action at the bottom of the exhalation. It's a hollowing of the belly to protect the lumbar spine. And just taking that moment, listening to your breath, trying to lengthen both the inhalations and the exhalations. And taking a nice deep inhale through the nostrils all the way down to the diaphragm. Letting the shoulders roll back, and on the exhalation, exhaling through the mouth. And doing that 2 more times. And now opening your eyes just slightly on the next inhalation, taking in the ground beneath you, and then opening them completely. Maybe turning the corners of the mouth up, smiling, and looking at the room around you, taking it in. And now recreating that sound, breathing in and out through the nostrils. It's what we call our ujjayi breath. So creating a slight constriction at the base of the throat as you inhale and exhale through the nostrils, creating an oceanic sound. So inhaling. And getting into the shoulders, inhaling as we draw the hands forward and up, inhaling the whole way up. And as we exhale, bending the elbows, letting the elbows draw down the rib cage as we draw the front ribs towards the back ribs on the exhalation. Inhaling up. Exhaling as the triceps come back. We hollow the belly, opening the heart, opening the pectoral muscles. And then just coming into a seated twist, inhaling as the hands come up. And exhaling as we bring the right hand towards the left knee. Left hand comes behind us, just rotating from the torso on up. Inhaling as we come back up, making this a moving meditation. Just a different way to meditate in the morning. Just bringing movement into our spine as we prepare for the day. Rooting through the sits bones to lift our crown of the head to the sky, and exhaling as we rotate, maybe gazing over the shoulder if it's comfortable for the neck. Always listening to your body, inhaling up and exhaling towards the other side. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands coming in front of the heart, closing your eyes, a little space between the palms, representing the divine light within you. And setting an intention for your day or for your practice, maybe even a dedication to somebody or something that can't be doing what they'd like to be doing today. And just taking 3 breaths to do so. Thank you. And then opening the eyes, bringing the hands to the sides, and simply switching the crossing of the legs so that we're showing both of the hips an equal amount of attention, trying to keep ourselves balanced. And this time as we inhale, hands coming up, as we exhale, we flex the wrists so the palms are out, the fingertips are up, and we have medium effort in the arms here as we exhale down. You might feel this in the trapezius muscles. You might feel it in the wrists or in the forearms, even the biceps and triceps. I really love this stretch because it just naturally works everything. It's a great way to prepare for the day. And now coming off of the block, getting into the hips a little bit, yet starting on our back. I'll remove the block I'm sitting on and come down to my back. Coming down passively. It's just the beginning. Coming down to your back. And then giving yourself a nice full body stretch. And noticing, most importantly, inhaling and stretching, pointing and flexing the feet. Bringing the hands down by the sides of the thighs, turning the palms up and letting the feet flap out. Just noticing how the back of your body feels on the ground here. It might not be so comfortable first thing in the morning. Taking a nice inhale, another nice full body stretch. And exhaling as we draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder. So there's a slight external rotation of the thigh coming from the hip and from the hip socket. And just breathing deeply all the way down, imagining your breath going straight to the hip crease, and taking 3 deep breaths here. Full inhalations, full exhalations. And on the next inhalation, drawing the knee to the midline and just creating these nice passive circles where we're moving the thigh bone, the femur bone, in the hip and socket, and then we just reverse that direction. Then we can bring our hands down, palms facing down, engaging the abdominals a little bit. So drawing the navel up towards the ribs and back towards the spine. Exhaling as the knee is in towards the chest. Inhaling as we create these circles. Exhaling as the knee comes in towards the chest. Inhaling as we stretch it away. And this is just great, especially in the winter when we're extra tight. And just simply reversing that direction. Maybe just 3 to 5 circles. And then interlacing the hands behind the thigh as you send the heel towards the sky. And a few ankle circles in one direction and then the other. Some pointing and flexing of the foot, curling of the toes and expanding them, curling and expanding. And then taking this nice handy dandy strap. You can use a long belt if that's what you have at home. And bringing it, placing it around the ball mound of the foot, drawing the foot in the air, always being mindful of that little pinky toe. We don't want to crush it. Drawing the shoulders back into the shoulder girdle, taking both of the straps into the right hand. And from here, having an external rotation of that thigh bone. So the knees and toes are pointed towards the right, yet it's coming from the hip socket. I like to place my left hand over my thigh, making sure that my left sits bone or hip doesn't come off the ground. And then I inhale and exhale, letting the right leg come out. And as soon as my left hip starts to rise, I know that that's about my max. It's just the very beginning of our practice. So just breathe into this. And on the inhales, you can be passive. And on the exhales, maybe pressing through the ball mound of the foot here. Exhaling, still rooting through the lower back, protecting the spine. And imagining that your breath is going all the way below the navel to the inner thigh and that you're breathing all the way to the big toe. And then inhaling as we come up. Taking the strap into the left hand, letting our right hand splay out, palm facing up, and then internally rotating that femur bone. So now the knees and toes are pointed towards the left. And if it's comfortable for your neck, just gazing towards that open palm, taking a nice inhale. And as you exhale, letting the right leg fall to the left, just until you feel sensation. And taking 3 to 5 breaths here. Breathing into that outer hip, outer glutes. And if you're looking for an IT band stretch, something that's really nice, is having, now we've been pressing through the ball mount of the foot into the strap, now creating this internal rotation on the ankle. So pointing the right toe towards the left shoulder and noticing the difference in stretch and sensation that you have here. Just taking 3 breaths here. Using that ujjayi breathing, or always feeling free to exhale through the mouth. Letting the bones be heavy here on the exhalations. And now inhaling as the leg rises up. We bring it to neutral so it's not internally or externally rotated. And drawing your hands down the strap, bringing the shoulders back into the shoulder girdle, taking a nice deep belly inhale. And as you exhale, engaging the abdominals and coming up, lifting the head, chest, and neck in unison. Slight chin lift here so that the neck is in line with the spine. And inhaling your way down. So we're beginning with some engagement here. Nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale, coming on up. And breathing here. We're going to be holding this for a little while. And inhaling your way down. And releasing the strap to the left side of the body, drawing the knee back into the chest. Just a couple of those passive circles in one direction and then the other. And then just inhaling, nice full body stretch. Exhaling, hands come down, palms up. Close your eyes and just notice how the back of your body feels on the ground now. Maybe one side feels longer than the other. Exhaling as we draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling as you draw the knee towards the midline and beginning with those passive circles, going in one direction and then the other. And just lubricating the hip and socket joint. Then bringing the hands palm down, exhaling as you engage the abdominals and inhaling as you create those circles. Going in one direction. I love really starting with the hips slowly because the hips lead to the lower back. The lower back leads to the shoulders. So just creating these nice circles. We have some engagement of the abdominals. And then interlacing the hands behind the thigh and creating some ankle circles. And going the other direction. Maybe pointing and flexing the feet and the toes, curling and spreading, curling and spreading. I love starting the morning or going into circulation at any point of the day. We tend to get stiff so easily, and especially in today's tech-savvy world. And then wrapping it around the ball mount of the foot, pressing into the strap through the ball mount of the foot, taking both straps into the left hand, now externally rotating the femur bone in the hip socket, taking a nice inhale. Exhaling as the left foot splays out. So I can already feel I'm a lot tighter on this side. So I'm not going to go as far. So I'm going to try and keep my hip planted, my sits bone planted, as I breathe into the inner thigh all the way to the big toe. Inhaling to center, taking both of the straps into the right hand and internally rotating that thigh bone, that femur bone, letting the left arm splay out to the left with an open palm. And as we exhale, letting the left leg fall towards the right side of the body until you have some nice sensation in the outer left hip. And gazing towards that left open palm. Now imagine breathing all the way to the navel and the diaphragm. And imagine that the breath is going to the outer left hip. And as you breathe out, you're sending the breath all the way from your outer hip to the pinky toe. Feeling free to exhale through the mouth here. And now taking a gaze at the big toe and directing it, just an internal rotation there, bringing the big toe towards the right shoulder. And then once again, gazing over the left shoulder, noticing the different sensation of this stretch. And now inhaling back to center, bringing the ankle and the thigh bone back to neutral, taking a strap with each hand, rolling the shoulder blades back and down, inhaling, and as we exhale, engaging the abdominals and lifting the head, neck, and chest in unison. Inhaling as we come down, exhaling as we come up. Inhaling as we come down. And this one will hold a little bit longer, so we'll continue to breathe up here. Using my Ujjayi breath here. And inhaling our way down, releasing the strap to the side, drawing that left knee in, and just a couple of those passive circles in one direction and then the other. And now letting everything come down to the ground and noticing how the back of your body feels now on the ground versus the beginning of class or when we had just done one side. You might feel a little longer. And bringing the soles of the feet to the ground, interlacing your hands behind the head, getting into the shoulders now while we're on the ground, taking a nice deep belly inhale, and as we exhale, lifting the head and neck only, drawing the elbows towards each other, slight chin tuck. Inhaling, head is heavy in the hands as we open the elbows. Exhaling, we come up. Getting a nice stretch in the neck, feeling that. Inhaling, opening the elbows, opening the chest. Let's just do 3 more of these, linking your breath to the movement. Exhaling up, inhaling down, exhaling up, inhaling down, exhaling up. Last one. And inhaling down. And then drawing the knees into the chest, getting into that lower back a little bit more. Just taking any of the sounds coming from outside and breathing through them. Steering the knees in the same direction and noticing how this massages all of the tiny little muscles surrounding the sacrum. Then reversing that direction, just so once again, we're showing a little bit of love to each side. And then your choice if you'd like to gently roll over, pressing yourself up into a seated position, or if you'd like to gain some momentum and bring your hands behind the thighs or in front of the shins, rocking up and down until maybe 3 to 5 times until you come into a seat. And now just bringing the knees under the hips, spreading the fingers wide, and your hands should be outer shoulder distance apart. Just making our way through some cat-cows here, inhaling as we tilt the pelvis and roll the shoulders back, sternum coming forward. Exhaling as we scoop the navel up and back, letting the head be loose for some cat-cow, chakravakasana. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, pressing away. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhaling, pressing away. Inhaling forward. And tucking the toes under. And bringing the hands, one palm print forward. So we're coming into an active child's pose. We're really rooting through the index finger and the thumb, and we're pressing the mat away from us so the weight is not going directly into the wrist. We're really placing the weight throughout the finger pads and especially the thumb and index finger. We shift the hips up and back for our first downward facing dog, pedaling the legs here, bending the right knee, sending the left heel towards the ground. And placing a bend in the knees, exhaling, sending the rib cage towards the thighs without letting it jet out. And then walking yourself towards the front of the sticky mat, hanging in a forward fold here. Weight towards the ball mounds of the foot so that the hips remain over the heels. Bringing the hips into the sway. Then coming to neutral, exhaling, hands to the hips. Inhaling as you press through all 4 corners of the feet to rise up. And just one more final stretch here. Inhaling as we come up, taking hold of the left wrist with the right hand, inhaling up, and exhaling as we side bend to the right, pressing through the left foot, breathing through that whole left side rib cage. Inhaling to center, pressing down to lift up, lifting out of the pelvic floor, exhaling as we side bend to the left, inviting our breath through the whole right side rib cage. Inhaling as you rise, and exhaling as you bring the hands in front of your heart. Thank you so much for sharing your morning stretches with me. Namaste.